I have to post on this in real time because this conversation with Cindy and Mel on The Golden Bachelor is an example in gaslighting. Let's take a look.
When did you know that you weren't ready for something?
I was ready. I was ready. But we had a time there where we were sitting and talking, and
Gaslight number one. He says, I was ready. He literally told her, no, I'm not ready, maybe in 2 years.
we finished. My heart and my head just wasn't there to give you those answers yet. But we still had the fantasy suite, which I guess we weren't prepared to go into, not just for any intimacy, but just for to talk.
Now he is projecting onto her, saying, you weren't ready. There was more time. We could have gone into the fantasy suite together. And also, as we watch this, watch Cindy's, watch her body language and how she's breathing and how she's holding herself. And you can tell how upset she is while keeping a very strong mask on her face.
So we didn't get the extra time to talk. Behind the scenes, no cameras, no mics, just a talk. So we never got there.
Absolutely, we didn't get there because I wasn't sure I wanted you to lead me to the fantasy suite when you couldn't lead in a relationship with me.
Never got there.
You said you wanted Jesse. Then you went to me.
We never got there. We didn't have the time because we never cut.
So he blames her for not going into the fantasy suite. And then she clearly, succinctly says, like, no, that wasn't what was going to happen. We weren't there. Very calmly. And then he interrupts her. Classic.
The fact that we never got there to ask those questions. Some things you can say behind closed doors that you don't say in front of the cameras. And you got to finish the journey. What you wanted was a proposal, but there's another person there. You just can't leapfrog over that person. If I say it's to you, then it's over. There wasn't someone there. So you have to continue the journey. Like I told you before, it's going to take time. The saying, first comes love.
Now he's telling her, oh, you needed to continue the journey. It just takes time. And then this line we're going to get to in a second. He is literally mansplaining his gaslighting. He's gaslighting her, but mansplaining about why he is right in his gaslight. This is the stuff that makes people feel like they're going crazy. All right, let's keep going.
Right? And then maybe marriages won't happen, but you know what I'm saying? Right? That's how it works. We talk about the leap of faith. I don't operate that way.
First comes love, then comes marriage, and the baby in the baby carriage won't happen, and that's how it happens, and you should know that. He's mansplaining her with a kid's nursery rhyme. Who does this guy think he is?
You know what I'm saying? Right? That's how it works. We talk about the leap of faith. I don't operate that way in my life. I don't go from here to the getting married.
That's fair. That's fair.
Then he's talking about like, oh, this is this leap of faith and I don't operate that way. The way he's saying it is that he's better than her or better than other people who are on The Bachelor or who might get married quickly. He's like, oh, that's just me. I'm not like that. Like the tone in his voice is pure arrogance.
I operate differently than you, and we just weren't aligned, and just took me by surprise that we had gotten so far before I saw it.
So far, but there's still time left. We didn't exercise that option, and we didn't have that time. It didn't happen.
Oh, there's still time left. You didn't give me that time. So sounds like he's blaming her for cutting his stint short. Maybe he got out on some contract deal of having to be there with the two women at the end. I don't know, but he is definitely blaming her for her choosing to leave because he sucks.
Greater price to pay to get me to the fantasy suite.
I wasn't trying to get you there. I wasn't trying to get you there. We had an opportunity to talk.
The way Cindy nods like, oh, okay, you weren't trying to get me there. She knows that's another gaslight because just 2 minutes ago, he was saying, oh, but you didn't get to go to the fantasy suite with me. You didn't get to have that intimate time with me. She's like looking at him like, are you kidding me right now? You were trying to do that, and you just said it. Gaslight.
was getting that. That was your option.
I learned enough. I was in it for a commitment at the end, and I didn't feel like I would get it from you.
So if you get the commitment then you're satisfied. There's another person that was there.
I didn't get a commitment then. You were telling me that there wasn't going to.
Now he is talking to her like a child, like, oh no, you were supposed to wait, and there is another person, and you're supposed to take your turn. There's two people in a relationship, and in this case, there's two people and then another set of two people, or a trio, if you will, but both parties get to decide how they want to be, and he is talking to her like a child because he's saying, I needed to decide. This is him having his feelings hurt because he didn't get to decide, because she rightfully said, no, I don't want any part of this.
Said you weren't going to take a leap of faith.
That
I
wasn't
wasn't asking you to commit to me. I was very well aware. You don't have to remind me that there was another woman there. I was very well aware of it, and I felt like I handled that incredibly graciously. And I didn't press you in comparison to anyone else. I tried really hard never to do that to you because that's unfair.
that you wanted the commitment before the process, before the journey. You wanted to a commitment like, we're going to get married. I wasn't there. My head was.
Look at the body language in this, and I'll flip back to it in a second, but Cindy has her shoulders kind of cowered in. You can tell her heart is sunken back. That's her in protection. And then Mel is going towards her like in attack mode. And she is being attacked right now. He is attacking her. Let's keep watching.
I was asking, would you find yourself in a moment where you...
That's why you had that extra time in the fantasy suite to talk things out. You never got there. You decided to leave. And that's your prerogative.
Mel, we saw you at dinner, and we saw that you were being really careful not to say things that you didn't mean. You didn't want to be disingenuous about a proposal, and certainly that's understandable. Why do you think you struggled? What was so hard for you opening up to Cindy about your feelings for her?
No, my feelings were straightforward. I liked her, otherwise we wouldn't be on the TV together. So that me liking her wasn't the issue.
Excuse me, on a show for love with a proposal, you liking her is absolutely the issue. You're supposed to be falling in love. She said she was falling for him. She likes him. And he's like, yeah, I liked her. Also, does that tell us that you didn't like anybody? Like, maybe we'll see what happens with Peg, but like all the other women, did you dislike them? It's not right.
That's about the leap of faith. I'm not going to take, in my life, I don't take leaps of faith like that. I don't go from knowing a person to getting married. This doesn't happen in my life. And you wanted to get married without the time in between. This just wasn't me.
I'm a very wise woman. I'm not getting married. There was no wedding at the end of this week. There was a hope for a commitment and to take this fairy tale into a happily ever after. That's what I was looking for.
Okay. You're speaking two different things. One, the whole time you said that's just part.
Yeah.
Commitment, walking up with the ring, all of that. It seemed like you wanted to skip the part over and just get the commitment.
He's the one that skipped all the part over before commitment. He was never vulnerable throughout the show. He never talked about his emotions. He was never truly forming real connections. And so in his mind, he may very well feel like, oh, we've just skipped over everything. But that's because he did not even try to have a real connection. And then he gaslights. This video is long enough. I just wanted to point out how people gaslight. If you would like to learn more, heal from your own gaslighters and your relationships, I have Rose-Colored Glasses to read as a book, and I have the Healing from Toxic Relationships workbook. And tomorrow I am training a bunch of therapists on how to use it. So find the link in my bio and stay safe out there with your hearts.